Hello everyone, this is Kashif Kamran and I welcome you to the Advanced Audit and Assurance online classes as you are preparing for your exams in 2020 and 2021. Now, as you know that the block 1 of the AAA course has already been shared with you as the pre-recorded lectures, and you all must have gone over the block 1 lectures. From today onwards, we are starting with the block 2 lectures. Now, just to give you a syllabus idea in terms of where we are standing, and this lecture and the onwards lecture will focus on which syllabus areas. Now, as you know, that the AAA syllabus is divided into six fundamental syllabus areas, whereas the seventh syllabus area is the current issue, and current issue only comes when the examiner writes an article on the current issue. So far, there is no article of the examiner on current issues. If there is any article which comes in the later months, a session will be recorded on that and will be shared with you. So nothing to worry about the current issues so far. Now, if you look at the syllabus area A, B, C, D, E, F, we have already covered the syllabus area A and the block 1 lectures. The pre-recorded lectures for block 1, which is a total of 5 lectures, have been shared with you with the support file. Now today we are starting with the block 2, which fundamentally covers the two syllabus areas, which is the syllabus area B and the syllabus area C. Both will fall under the block 2, which I am starting from today. Syllabus area B and syllabus area C. You may find questions on the syllabus area B and C in the section A of the paper, and you may find the question on the syllabus area B or C in the section B of the syllabus as well. So this is very flexible syllabus area. In a 100 marks paper, you might find a question on the syllabus area B or C in the section A in the 50 marks question, or you may equally find a question in the section B, which is a 25 marks question, and it can be possible that this topic is within the section A as well as in the section B. So this is a very, very flexible area of the syllabus. And I will be guiding you more as I start with my orientation lecture on the block 2 syllabus area B and syllabus area C today. So syllabus area A has already been done. The 5 lectures from the block 1 has been shared with you. Now we're starting our journey from the syllabus area B and C, and I will be giving you an idea about both the syllabus areas in this first introductory lecture on the block 2. Now moving forward, you know my syllabus has been divided into 4 blocks. The block 1 has already been done and shared with you. Today I'm starting on with the block 2. The block 2 covers the syllabus area B and the block 2 covers the syllabus area C. So that's what we are starting from today. Now after we complete the block 2, we will be left with block 3 and then the block 4. So the total blocks in my syllabus are 4, out of which we are starting the second block today. Now, my course is divided into 4 blocks. The block 1 is done and lectures are with you. Now, today we are starting with the block 2. That's where the journey will start on. Once we complete the block 2, comes the block 3 and then the block 4. So that is the order in which the syllabus will be progressing. Already the block 1 has been shared with you, which was basically the knowledge block of the AAA syllabus. And in the block 1, there was total 5 lectures, which were shared with you with the support file. Now, once you complete the block 1, once you're done with block 1, and once you've gone through the resources of the block 1, which has been shared with you on the Google Drive, you will start your journey from the block 2. Now, block 2 is a very important block in terms of its contribution to the AAA paper and in terms of its weightage in 100 marks paper. Now, I will be giving you an introduction of the block 2 today, so you understand the examiner perspective of the block 2 and you understand that what sort of things you need to have in mind when you're preparing yourself for the block 2. There will be series of lectures on block 2 starting with the first one today, which will basically be an orientation lecture on the block 2. Now, the exam focus of the block 2 is high in terms of its contribution to the 100 marks paper. Now, before I give you the introduction of the block 2, just to give you an importance of how critical the block 2 is, you can see the number of exam papers which have been chosen. And this is just to show you how significant the contribution of block 2 is. Almost in every single exam setting, for less marks or more marks, you will find the contribution of the block 2. Yes, there have been some settings where block 2 was 0, but in most of the exam setting, there has been a contribution of block 2, sometime of less marks and sometime of more marks. And as we start with the practice phase, you will become equipped with the uh, confidence on the block 2. There are 4 articles you can see at the bottom of the screen. There are 4 articles which are recommendable, and I will be guiding you when to read each article. But there are 4 articles available for reading with the block 2. When will you be reading each article? I will be guiding you on a step-by-step basis. So this is just an introductory picture in front of you, giving you an idea how important this block is in terms of exam papers and number of exam papers chosen by the tutor as very important exam papers, which should be done. Some will be done by me in the classes and some will be done by you as assignments. 4 articles to read. When to read each article, I will be giving you a proper timetable and a time frame for that. Now, before I give you the further introduction of my block 2 presentation, I'm taking on my Word file, which is my support file, and I normally use the Word file as my whiteboard, and everything I write on the Word file will be shared with you as a support file. You can take a printout of it and maintain a proper box file of AAA. Now, you can see in front of your screen, this is the block 2, and this is the first lecture of the block 2, right? So I will be numbering them so that you can maintain them and you can have a proper order of them. Now, in terms of the very first lecture on block 2, what you need to understand is that this block 2, which we are starting today, and this block 2 consists of 2 syllabus areas, right? One of the syllabus area is the syllabus area B, and one is the syllabus area C. Now, the syllabus area B is about ethical and professional matters, and the syllabus area C consists of 2 things, one being the quality control and the other being the practice management. So there are total of 3 topics. Ethical and professional matter is one topic, quality control is a second topic, and practice management is a third topic, and they're bifurcated into the syllabus area B and C in terms of the AAA syllabus. Now, what you need to understand is that when you are preparing yourself for the block 2, right, the block 2 will be divided into 3 parts in terms of my lecture. The first part of the block 2, which we will start, will be the practice management. Then from the practice management, we will go to a area which is known as ethical and professional matters. And finally, we will be wrapping up the block 2 with understanding of quality control. So these are the 3 parts which I have extracted out of the syllabus area B and C. So I will be going in the order of 1, 2, 3. First the practice management, then the ethical and professional matters, and then the quality control. So the first area I will be highlighting is practice management from within the block 2, which is basically the syllabus area C. Now, moving onwards, what you should be knowing about practice management. Practice management. And what is the literal meaning of the word practice management. Now, to give you an idea of practice management and to start on with the understanding of this topic, practice management seems like a difficult word, but it's very easy. And you must be having a knowledge of practice management from your AA paper, the F8 paper. And once I give you the knowledge, you will start to realize or start to recall that you have done this topic somewhat in the AA paper. Let's understand what it means. Now, when you look at the word practice, right, and you break this word into two parts. One part of the word is known as practice, and the other part of the word is known as management, right? And just to give you a proper idea, this is the syllabus area C. So let's write that as well, even though I mentioned that at the beginning of my lecture. Okay, now there are two words, right? One word is practice, the other word is management. Now, once we need to understand both so that we have a good idea. Practice. Now, obviously, we are in the AAA paper, we are an auditor. And in the AAA paper, we're thinking about audit. And in the AAA paper, we're thinking about the audit firm. Now, what we need to understand is that when we speak of practice, what comes to our mind? Which practice are we talking about? We're talking about the practice of the audit firm. Practice of the audit firm. Now, what is the practice of the audit firm? The audit firm have two types of practice. Practice means the services. Now, when you look at the audit firm and you look at the practice of the audit firm have two types of practices. Number one, the audit firm offer the audit services, right? And they also offer something known as non-audit services. You must have heard this word, non-audit services, in your AA paper or the F8 paper. Now we know the audit firm is a service provider, right? And audit firm being a service provider provide two types of services, one being the audit services and one being the non-audit services. So what is the practice for the audit firm? The practice for the audit firm is the services the audit firm offer. Now, obviously, when you look at every industry, any industry is offering a practice. You look at the education industry, they're offering a service. You look at the banking industry, they're offering a service, so on and so forth. So the audit firm is offering a practice to the customers, to the clients, to the business community. They are known as the audit services and the non-audit services. Now, that is the literal meaning of the word practice. Now, you need to understand that obviously the audit firm is offering the services to generate income, right? They're offering the services to generate income, which is the objective, which is the purpose why they are running the audit firm. Obviously, they're not running the audit firm for a welfare. They're running the audit firm to offer a service, and against the service, they want the income to be generated. So they are a service provider and they're offering professional services to their customers or client. And when they're offering these professional services, they're bound by the code of conduct. They're bound by the regulators who governs the audit firms. Now, that is the literal meaning of the word practice. Now, when you're offering a practice, when you're offering a service, whether you are an education service provider, whether you are a banking service provider, whether you are an audit firm service provider, whenever you offer a service, your service needs to be managed. Now, what is the literal meaning of the word your service needs to be managed? Your service needs to be managed in terms of lots of things. When you're offering a service, you need to manage your service. How? You need to manage your service in terms of attracting new clients, attracting new customers, retaining retaining existing customers, retaining existing clients or customers. You don't want to lose them, but you also want to get the new customers and new clients, because if there is any service provider, the service provider would like the new customers to come to them. They also want to retain their existing customers. They also want to ensure that they want to build their reputation. They want to manage their reputation. They want to manage their goodwill. They don't want to do anything which affects the reputation of an audit firm. They also want to ensure that they increase the market share. Every audit firm likes to increase the market share, or every audit firm wants to increase the income generation. They want to generate as much income as possible. So that is the literal meaning of the word management. These are some examples of management. Now, if you look at the examples under management and you try to connect them with practice, and you try to look at the picture of an audit firm, the audit firm offers services, but when they're offering services, they need to offer services with quality. They need to ensure that they are not just offering services to their existing client, they're also attracting new customers. Now, to attract new customer, they should have a good reputation. They should have a goodwill. They should have a good quality. They want to increase their market share because they are in a competitive environment. They're competing with the other audit firms. They don't want the business to go to the other audit firms. They want the business to come to them. So this is the management part. Now, imagine a partner who's running an audit firm. Do you believe the partner who is running an audit firm would be interested in all the five examples I've given you under management? Definitely. The partner would like to attract new clients, retain existing clients, build reputation, increase market share, increase income generation. Perhaps wants to do anything which builds the audit firm, which builds the audit firm strong. Imagine a big four firm. They have built them up over years. Imagine PricewaterhouseCooper, imagine Ernst& Young, imagine the management at a global level. They're managed. How they manage the audit firms, not just at a very small level, but at a global level. So many things, right? So the management can be the management of your daily affairs, the management of your day-to-day routines, the management of your human resources, the management of your daily routines in the audit firm, etc. So this is the literal meaning of the word practice management. Now, if you're clear with that word practice management, what sort of an exam focus are we looking for in AAA? What is the examiner expecting from a student in terms of practice management, and what is the boundary of practice management in the AAA? Because you cannot expect everything to fall in practice management, because the examiner is not looking at the realistic audit firm. Examiner is looking at you as a student, and in terms of the student, the examiner has defined the boundary of practice management. Let's see what is that. Now, first thing what you should be knowing is, as a student, now when you look at the practice management and you start to look at the audit firm, for every audit firm, some of the most important thing is how the business comes to an audit firm. How the business comes to an audit firm. And I hope you all agree that this is something very, very important. This is something utmost important, because till the time the business don't come to an audit firm, how would you increase your market share? How would you increase your income generation? And no audit firm likes the business to go to the competitor. So the first and foremost important thing is how the business, how the new customers, how the client comes to the audit firm. Now, how the business comes to an audit firm is just a knowledge that a student should have. Number one, a business comes to an audit firm through something known as a tender. Number two, the business comes to an audit firm through something known as a cold calling. Number three, the business comes to an audit firm through an advertisement. Number one, a business comes to an audit firm through a tender. A tender is an invitation from a prospective client, from a prospective client. It is an invitation. It is an invitation from a prospective client seeking audit or non-audit services, seeking audit or non-audit services from the audit firm. So it's an invitation, and this is an invitation which is coming from a prospective client. The prospective client is inviting you that, can you do audit for me? Or can you offer me a non-audit service? I want to take a non-audit service from you. So this is an invitation. This is an invitation which can come in a newspaper, for example. This is an invitation which can come through an email. This is an invitation where the client can approaches your office and have a cup of tea with you and invite you that I want you to offer me a service. So the invitation can be face to face, invitation can be through email, can be through a newspaper advertisement, but this is an invite. So the moment the invitation comes, this is an opportunity for the audit firm. Now, the audit firm can accept the invitation, can reject the invitation. We will see why and how the audit firm accept and reject the invitation. But I hope you all agree that invitation from a prospective client is one way how the business comes to an audit firm. It is an opportunity. Vice versa. If there is no invitation coming to you, you are a small firm. If you are PwC, you are EY, you are KPMG, perhaps the invitations will come to you. But if you're a small firm, and there is no invitation coming to you, what will you do? You will not sit relax because you want business. You need to find an alternative to that. The alternative to that is the vice versa, cold calling. In cold calling, it is the vice versa, where the audit firm goes to the client. The audit firm goes to the prospective clients, giving them giving them presentations of services the audit firm offer in a hope to get some services in a hope to get some services. It's just the vice versa. It's the audit firm goes to the prospective client. That means you are going to the prospective client giving a presentation to them. Just imagine yourself. When you're looking for a job, there are two ways to look for a job. Either you get a job ad in the newspaper and you say, oh, this is a job ad in the newspaper, I should forward my resume to this company. That's one way. That's like a tender. The vice versa is, if there is no job ad coming in the newspaper, you might go to multiple companies and you might go to the human resource department of multiple companies and you might keep dropping your CVs, or you might just keep dropping your CVs over the internet in different companies in a hope that you might get a job. So if you even look at a role of a student searching for jobs, you even search for jobs in two perspectives. Either you get an invitation and you apply for it, or either you go dropping your CVs or email your CVs to several organizations in a hope that one of the organization will contact you. So in the same way, the audit firm is working. Either they get an invitation or they go to the client giving them presentations of services the audit firm offer in a hope to get some services. Cold calling is a way of getting business and is an acceptable way of getting business. And normally the smaller firms, the medium-sized firms do involve in a cold calling process, because the larger firms, the big four firms, the business comes to them. And the last way, which is a very logical way in the era we are living in, advertisement. You need to advertise yourself to get services. Now, it is the advertisement by the audit firm under the code of conduct. We will be going through this topic in our syllabus under the code of conduct to bring business. Now, advertisement do help attracting business. Now, how an audit firm can advertise, where the audit firm can advertise, what is the mechanism of advertising the audit firm, we will be going through that in our syllabus. But I hope you agree that marketing or advertisement also plays a crucial part in bringing the business to the audit firm. So these are three ways the business comes to the audit firm. Now, we're not concerned about a tender and a cold calling, because when you read a case study in AAA paper, the case study will obviously tell you that the client has approached you. So you're not worried about uh, examiner asking you the knowledge of tender or cold calling. No. Yes, advertisement is a standalone topic, and there has just been one question on advertisement which have come in the past paper that shows its importance. Just one exam question, that of 7 marks in 2015 December exams. No question before that, no question after that. But that shows a standalone question has come on advertisement, seeking students' knowledge on advertisement. But tender and cold calling is something which is involved in a case study, and the case study will involve you, will tell you how the client has approached you. So nothing to worry about it. But yes, advertisement is a standalone knowledge, and we'll take that standalone knowledge at a later stage in my lecture. And only one question has come on it in December 15. Question number 4, part A. So that is a specific question, so even I remember that. Part A. And this question was worth just 7 marks. There is no other testing of advertisement. So obviously we will be solving this question on advertisement at a later stage in my lecture. Okay, now this is how the business comes to an audit firm, right? Because till the time the business don't come to an audit firm, you will not be happy because you are a service provider and the service provider wants the business to come. Now, you need to understand the types of businesses, the types of businesses which comes to an audit firm, the types of businesses which comes to an audit firm. What does that mean? The types of businesses which comes to an audit firm. Now, the types of businesses which comes to an audit firm can be a new audit client. There can be a company which comes to you and asks you, I want you to become my auditor, a new audit client, an opportunity. A company comes to me and asks me, can you become my auditor, a new audit client? That's one type of business. Number 2 business can be your existing client, your existing audit client, your existing audit client asking you to offer more, asking you to offer additional services, which is basically the non-audit services. Now, it do happen. If you are doing audit of Unilever and you are the auditor of Unilever, the Unilever might ask their auditor that can you offer us some more services like the taxation services or any consultation services or any human resource services, etc. Obviously, you will evaluate the proposal by them and you will say yes or no. But a new client comes to you, means a new customer. Your existing client, which is already your client, asking you to offer additional services. Offer additional services is a business, right? Is a business coming to you. A new audit client is a business coming to you. And the last one could be uh, a new client asking your audit firm to offer non-audit services. A new client comes to you asking you that I want you to offer me some non-audit services. I don't want audit. I don't want audit. The number 1 situation is a new audit client. So a new audit client, right? But the number 3 situation is a new client, but the new client has not come to you for audit. The new client has come to you asking you to offer some non-audit services. So these are 3 types of business opportunities. Either an existing client comes to you and asks you, can you offer me an audit? Or a new client comes to you asking you, can you offer me audit? Or a new client comes to you asking you, can you offer me a non-audit service? Now the situation number 1 is very common in the AAA paper. The situation number 2 is very common in the AAA paper. And the situation number 3 is very uncommon. Means once in a blue moon. Now, the examiner has written an article on the situation 1 and the situation 2. That shows how important those 2 situations is. The examiner has written an article. There is an examiner article on the situation 1 and the situation 2. And the title of the examiner article written on this is an acceptance decision. Acceptance decision by the audit firm, because you got an opportunity. When you get an opportunity, you have to accept or reject it. Acceptance decision for audit, number 1 situation. Acceptance decision for audit, number 2 situation. And assurance engagements. Assurance engagement is the examiner has covered that as a perspective 2. When your existing client asks you to offer additional services. So the examiner has covered the situation 1 and 2 in the article titled Acceptance Decision for Audit and Assurance Engagement, which I will be covering and recommending you to read at a certain additional stage. This article is already in the articles for Block 2 in the Google Drive. I hope you know that the Google Drive has been shared with all of you. If I can show you the Google Drive, which has been shared with all of you. You have my Google Drive, and I've already shared the Google Drive with you. You can see in front of your screen the block 2 notes and articles. When you go in the block 2 notes and articles number 2, you will find articles. In the articles, you will find the very first article, Acceptance Decision for Audit and Assurance Engagement, right in front of your screen now. Acceptance Decision for Audit and Assurance Engagement. And in this article, the examiner has covered the situations which I was telling you, the types of businesses. If you scroll down, page number 1, come to page number 2. At the start of the page number 2, you can see a heading, Accepting New Audit Client. That's what I was drawing your attention to as the first type of business, a new audit client. Page number 2. You scroll down page number 2, page number 3, and you come to page number 3 bottom. At the bottom of the page number 3, you will find accepting non-audit assignments. Accepting non-audit assignments from an existing client has been covered by the examiner. Accepting non-audit assignment at the bottom of the page number 3. And then the article continues on the page number 4, and at the bottom of the page number 4 you find a conclusion. So just a 4-page article covering the situation number 1 and the situation number 2 in terms of the types of businesses which comes to an audit firm. So your examiner expects that you are very good on the situation 1 and 2 because the examiner has written an article that is very, very important. Now, obviously, at a later stage, I will be recommending you to read this article. Now, the last thing for the session today is, in terms of the practice management, is knowing the types of business which comes to an audit firm. The final thing which you should know as a student, which is an exam question in AAA from practice management, is if a business comes to an audit firm, any of the three above, comma, what should the audit firm do? What should the audit firm do? And this is what the examiner expects a student to know from a AAA perspective. If a business comes to an audit firm, what should the audit firm do? This is what your examiner expects from you in the AAA paper. And this is the boundary of a student. So if I just 1 minute, if I can just take it on the next page, and we can start this as a fresh journey, because this is defining your exam boundary now. If a business comes to an audit firm, what should the audit firm do? This is what your examiner expects from you. This is the examiner expectation from students in terms of practice management. Right, so let's write this as a student note. So the student knows that this is an important area. Now, what should the audit firm do? Number 1, the audit firm should take a careful decision whether to accept the business or not. So the audit firm has to take a decision. Now, if you look at the examiner article was acceptance decision. Will you accept it? Will you not accept it? So that's where the examiner is expecting you that take a careful decision whether to accept a business or not which comes to you, whether it's a business like a new audit client, whether it is a business of your existing client offering you more services, or it is a new client asking you to offer some additional, asking you to offer non-audit services. So take a careful decision. whether to accept a business or not. This is what your examiner expects from you. So this is one sort of an exam question. And I will be giving you the answer for this, whether to accept the business or not. Now, moving further from this, before I give you the breakup of this, once you take a decision and you decide, okay, I have to accept the business, how you decide? How you decide the whether? I will be giving you an answer for that. Just wait for it. But suppose you decide, I am accepting the business which comes to me. After the audit firm decides to accept the business, whether a new audit client or the other situations covered above, after the audit firm decides to accept the business, the audit firm needs to inform the client who approaches you, needs to inform the client their acceptance, of the business by writing a proposal document, This is examinable in the AAA paper. By writing a proposal document, this is an exam question. Student should know the proposal document from an examination point of view. So the first thing the student should know is decision. How would you take a decision to accept or reject? Second, if you decide that I want to accept the client, you will send him a proposal that yes, I am willing to accept you, but this is my proposal. If you agree to my proposal, I am willing to offer you my services. Now, proposal might be like your quotation. Proposal is like a quotation you are sending to the new client or your existing client that if you want me to offer this service, I am willing to offer this service, but I might be charging $5 million. I might be charging $1 million. But even when I'm offering you a service, this is my wish list. So a proposal has to be sent. A proposal is like a quotation. For example, when a company puts a tender in the newspaper seeking a supplier for a raw material, what happens? When the supplier replies to a company that, yes, I want to become your supplier, do the supplier gives a quotation or a proposal to the company that this is my proposal of supplying raw material to you? If you agree to my proposal, I am more than willing to offer you my services. Same happens with the audit firm. The audit firm is giving a proposal to the client that I am willing to offer you the service, but this is my proposal. If you agree to my proposal, I am there to serve you. So what is a proposal document? What is the content of the proposal document? The examiner expects you to know this. And some very old questions exist on the document, not any new questions. So I will be doing them with you in the class. But that is the second type of exam question which comes when a business approaches you. And the final stage, if the client agrees to your proposal and offer and accepts, if the client agrees to your proposal and accepts your offer or accepts your proposal, both client and the auditor will sign an engagement letter, which you must have done in the AA paper. Sign an engagement letter to formalize the terms and conditions, on the basis of which the business will be offered, So once the client agrees and the auditor proposal has been accepted, now both the parties, the one who is providing the service and the one who will take the service, they will both formalize things They will sign a engagement letter, both the parties, and in this engagement letter they will finalize the terms and conditions, so there is no misunderstanding between the service provider and the person receiving the service at a later stage. Now, what sort of things goes into the engagement letter? You must have covered that in the AA paper, but there have been very old exam questions seeking your knowledge on engagement letter, so you can take it as a third type of exam question. So in conclusion, if a business comes to an audit firm, what should you do as an audit firm? You should first take a decision, number one. You should then write a proposal document, number two, and you should then formalize things with an engagement letter. Now, these are three different questions. This is not an accumulative question. So there can be a type 1 question, there can be type 2, there can be type 3. 1, 2, 3 in front of your screen. Can be three different questions. But I think the more common question is the number 1. But number 2, number 3 has been very old questions. I don't think so that any question have come on them after 2014 or 15. But take a careful decision has even come in 2018 and 2019 exams. So that's more rigorous area of the AAA paper. And that's an area where the examiner has written an article, acceptance decision. Acceptance decision. So taking a careful decision. So when you read the examiner article, you will come to know the parameters of accepting a new audit client and accepting a service, further services from your existing client. So that's the boundary. Now I will be breaking number 1, how you take a decision. I will be breaking number 2, the proposal document. I will be breaking number 3, the engagement letter. And obviously I will be solving exam questions with you on each of them. Further, apart from this, you should also be knowing advertisement, the rules and of advertisement, and just one exam question on this, which I mentioned you earlier, which came in December 2015, question number 4, part A, which is what is needed for this part. Now, in recap of the practice management, I hope you're literally clear with the word practice and you're literally clear with the word management. Then I talked about how the business comes to an audit firm. I hope you're clear on that. Types of businesses which comes to an audit firm. I hope you're clear on that. The article I mentioned for the situations. And then I finally told you, if a business comes to an audit firm, what should the audit firm do? And the three types of exam question. And another exam question which comes on advertisement, which is a standalone area, nothing to do with 1, 2, 3, but that's a standalone question which comes on advertisement. So that defines the boundary of practice management from a AAA perspective. Now, finally, for practice management, the recommended articles. The recommended articles. There are 2 recommended articles for practice management, which you can go through before the next lecture. If I can just give you a list of those 2 articles. Number 1 article I recommended you is an acceptance decision. I hope you can realize the importance of that now. Acceptance decision for audit and assurance engagement, which you should be reading, right? And the second article is audit in a specialized industry. I would prefer that you read both these articles and try to absorb them. In my next lecture, I will be guiding you about these 2 articles. I will be giving you a glimpse of these 2 articles as I explore the number 1, 2, 3 in front of your screen here, the number 1, 2, 3, and as I start the practice phase. So the next lecture will be a more depthful lecture on practice management exam perspective. I will break number 1, I will break number 2, I will break number 3. I will be referring to the article 1 and the article 2, and you will get a better idea of how you should be absorbing the article. But currently, I just expect that you read the articles, try to understand them. They're written in a very layman manner, so hopefully you will understand much of them. But again, the next lecture will be a breakthrough lecture on practice management. A lot of knowledge and a lot of practice will be shared. and that would be a very extensive lecture on practice management, and probably might be the last lecture on practice management, or if there is a need, there will be another lecture, because I will try to make that lengthy. It covers everything, the exam perspective and the technical perspective together coming into it. So syllabus area C, another lecture will come up. This was the first lecture on block 2. So the second lecture on the block 2 will be again on the practice management and more insightful lecture on practice management. Just before I exit, I've shown you an article which is in the block 2 articles of the Google Drive, which was the article number 1, acceptance decision in front of your screen. And in the same articles, if you look at the article number 3, that is the one I'm recommending you. Click on this, audit in a specialized industry. Just a 3-page article, and a very simple article, that what is a specialized industry and how you perform audit in a specialized industry. You will get to know the benefit of this article and the purpose of this article once I do my second lecture on practice management syllabus area C. So out of the 4 articles, sorry, which you can see on the slide, at the bottom of the slide, you can see the 4 articles to be read. I'm recommending the last 2 articles to you. The last 2 articles will help you with practice management. The last 2 articles will help you with practice management. So just go about reading them. And the next lecture on practice management will give you further insights of exam papers, further insights of which exam papers to do. I will be doing a lot of them in sessions. So a lot of exam papers which are coming in front of your screen here, quite a lot of them will go off from in the practice management session, and then the later papers will be done in ethical and professional matters, and then the later will be done in quality control. So just before I wrap up, uh, ensure that this file will be shared with you. This was just an introductory file for the syllabus area B and C, in which we started with a syllabus area C practice management. And I hope this introductory lecture will give you an idea of lectures to come, further lectures to come from block 2 and the dimension of the block 2. Thank you very much, and wait for the other lectures to come. This is Kashif Kamran signing off from the online lectures for AAA. I'll see you with further lectures. Have a nice day. Goodbye. Take care.